There is a moment in every traditional Japanese tea ceremony when the host simply prepares the tea. They do not talk while they do it. They do not glance at a phone. They do not think about what comes after. They prepare the tea. That's it. Every movement deliberate, every gesture complete in itself, the attention undivided and total. Most Western observers, watching for the first time, find this uncomfortable. The silence, the slowness, the complete absence of anything else happening. We have been trained to experience the absence of multitasking as a kind of waste time. That could be used for something else, simultaneously, right now. But here is the thing, the Japanese have been doing this for centuries. Not because they lack things to do, not because their lives are simpler or their schedules emptier, but because they understand something about human attention that most productivity culture gets exactly backwards. Today we are going to talk about why Japanese culture resists multitasking and why the research increasingly says they have been right all along. Let's start with a fact that might surprise you. The word multitasking does not come from human psychology. It was coined in 1965 to describe what computers do, running multiple processes simultaneously across multiple processors. Computers can multitask. Human brains, as it turns out, cannot. Not really. What we call multitasking is more accurately described as task switching rapidly, toggling our attention between different things. And every time we switch, there is a cost. Cognitive scientists call it switch cost. The mental energy and time required to shift focus from one thing to another and rebuild the context that was just abandoned. Studies out of the American Psychological Association estimate that multitasking can reduce productivity by as much as 40%. Other research shows that people who multitask heavily perform worse on tests of cognitive function, memory, and attention even when they are not multitasking, because constant switching degrades the neural circuits that support sustained focus. We have built an entire culture around a productivity myth, and Japanese culture, for reasons that predate the science, saw through it. The concept I want to introduce is ichigyo zammai, a Japanese phrase that translates roughly as total absorption in a single activity. It comes originally from Zen Buddhism, and it describes a quality of attention in which there is nothing left over. No part of the mind wandering elsewhere. No awareness split between what you are doing and what you could be doing instead. Ichigyo zammai is not just about efficiency. It is a philosophical and even spiritual ideal. The idea that any activity done with complete presence becomes a form of meditation, a doorway to a different quality of experience. You see this in the Japanese tea ceremony chado, or the way of tea. Every movement in the ceremony is prescribed, deliberate, and done with total attention. The way the cloth is folded, the way the bowl is turned, the way the water is poured. Each of these actions is performed as if it is the only thing in the world, because in that moment it is. You see it in the Shokunin, the Japanese word for a master craftsman or artisan. The Shokunin is not defined by credentials or job title. They are defined by their relationship to their work. That relationship is one of complete dedication, showing up every day fully, without distraction, without reservation, for the singular task of getting better at the one thing they have committed their life to. A master sushi chef who has spent 30 years perfecting a single type of rice. A ceramicist who has thrown the same shape 10,000 times. A calligrapher who has written the same character so many times. It lives in their hands before it reaches their mind. These are not people who dabble. These are not people who split their attention. They understand something that the rest of us are still learning. Depth is not compatible with fragmentation. There is another concept at work here, and it is one we have explored on this channel. Ma, written with the character for gate and sun, is the Japanese concept of meaningful space or interval, the silence between notes in music, the empty space in a painting, the pause before a response in conversation. Ma is not emptiness. It is structured, intentional space that gives form to what comes before and after it. In the context of daily life and attention, Ma manifests as the transitions between activities. When a Japanese craftsman finishes one task and prepares to begin another, there is a moment of Ma, a deliberate clearing of what just was, a preparation for what comes next. The attention is not dragged, half present from one thing to another. It is properly concluded, set down, and then redirected. This is the opposite of how most of us move through our days. We end a meeting still talking about it in our heads while we begin our email. We finish lunch while already scrolling toward the next task. We are never fully in one thing. because we are always still carrying the last thing and already anticipating the next. Japanese culture treats the transitions between tasks as important as the tasks themselves. The way you end one thing and begin another is not a throwaway moment. It is an act of care for your own attention and for the work that comes next. There is a related concept worth understanding, mottainai. This is a Japanese expression of regret over waste, of materials, of resources, of things that still have value. Mottainai is often applied to food or objects. Do not throw away what can still be used. But its logic extends to attention itself. Fragmented attention is attention wasted. When you are in a meeting, but reading your phone, neither the meeting nor the message gets what it deserves. You are there, but not really there. You are reading, but not really reading. Two things are getting a fraction of what they need. And the fraction is less than half, because the overhead of switching takes something from both. Mottainai says, do not waste what is precious. And attention, your capacity for focused, conscious presence, is among the most precious things you have. Now, I want to address something honestly. Japanese culture is not perfectly consistent on this point. Modern Japan has its own problems with overwork and distraction. Japanese salarymen are not immune to checking their phones at dinner. Urban Japan is as loud and stimulating as any city in the world. The traditional philosophy and the lived reality are not always the same thing. But what matters is that the framework exists. The ideal is articulated. The culture has a word, ichigyo zammai, for the kind of attention that makes any activity meaningful. Having the word means having the concept. Having the concept means having something to aim for. And aim is exactly what is needed. Because the challenge of sustaining attention in the modern world is real, and it is getting harder. The average length of attention in digital spaces is shrinking. The competition for focus is intensifying. Every app, every notification, every recommendation, algorithm is designed to capture and redirect your attention away from whatever you were doing toward what the platform wants you to see. Ichigyo zammai is, in this environment, an act of resistance. Choosing to do one thing completely with your phone in another room, with the tab closed, with your attention gathered and committed is not a small thing. It is swimming against a current that most people do not even realize. They are being carried by, how do you practice this? Start small. Choose one activity in your day, just one, and do it with total attention. No parallel input, no background noise, no checking, just the thing itself for as long as it lasts. It could be eating breakfast. It could be a short walk. It could be reading a chapter of a book. It could be 1 hour of focused work on the most important thing you have to do today. The research is consistent. People who work in focused, uninterrupted blocks produce significantly better results than people who work longer hours with constant interruptions. The output is better. The satisfaction is higher. The sense of progress is real. This is not a coincidence. It is the natural consequence of giving something what? It actually needs your full presence. There is a Japanese expression, shoichi nichi wo jisen suru, which means something like practicing one full day. The idea behind it is simple. You cannot live a good month or a good year. You can only live a good day, one day at a time. And within that day, you can only really be in one moment at a time. The rest is projection and memory. What you can control is the quality of attention you bring to right now. This is what the Japanese have always known. It is not how much you do that matters. It is how completely you are there when you do it. When you wash the dishes, wash the dishes. When you sit with a friend, sit with a friend. When you work, work. When you rest, rest. One thing at a time, all the way in. That is ichigyo zammai. That is perhaps the whole practice.